The thing that's allowed me to try a lot of new things and learn really quickly is that I always have a beginner's mindset. Hi, I'm Sol. I've been a rapid transformational hypnotherapist since 2016, and I love this modality because it allows my clients to make really big shifts and get powerful results in their life. Over the last few years, I've also mentored other RTT therapists and coaches to help them deepen their skills and get their business established and growing. I decided to make this video to share with you the primary things that have helped my clients who are coaches, healers, hypnotherapists, and have an online service-based business to grow their business in a way that feels natural, easy, and fun. This channel is called The Living Narrative because the story you tell becomes the life you live. And I share tons of wisdom on personal mastery and transformation, especially when it comes to money, sex, and spirituality. It's my mission to show you just how extraordinarily magical and powerful you are inside and out, so that you can create juicy relationships and live a life of passion and purpose. Subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to share is practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice. Okay, one of the things that has allowed me to learn and grow in my life, not just in RTT and coaching, but in anything I've ever wanted to learn, whether it's dancing, playing guitar, like any kind of a new skill, the thing that's allowed me to try a lot of new things and learn really quickly is that I always have a beginner's mindset. I approach things with a totally open mind and total permission to just be present and get it wrong and just show up and practice. And without that pressure of needing to get it perfect, I am able to learn so much more. And so whenever one of my clients is learning something new or starting a new modality, I always say, just get out there and practice. Do as many practice sessions as possible, work with as many different kinds of people as possible. And this is really important, in my opinion, for you to become really, really good at rapid transformational therapy or even coaching. So this is like totally the opposite advice than most marketing programs are going to tell you. They're going to tell you immediately to niche. But in my experience, when you have clients with different issues and you get to see and witness different perspectives, first of all, it keeps you on your toes, especially if it's something you haven't worked on specifically before. For example, I remember the first time I did a session with somebody who had Lyme's disease, and I didn't even know what Lyme's disease was before this started, and I learned so much about it. And we did 2 sessions, and this person had been living with Lyme's disease for at least 10 years, and she was just absolutely exhausted. And even though I didn't know what Lyme's disease was before I went into this session with her, the first one, I was able to help her get to the emotional root causes of why it was relevant in her life and in her body to manifest Lyme's disease. And once we got to the root of understanding that she had no ability to say no and to have boundaries with her family, and she would constantly be putting herself out there and exhausting herself to the point that she would pass out on the couch in exhaustion because she didn't know how to say no. So the Lyme's disease gave her a reason and an excuse to not be able to do everything for everyone. So once I helped her to get better boundaries and to make peace with the things in the past that were making her into a people pleaser, and we cleared all of that up, all of her Lyme's disease symptoms completely went away. Like, she had been going to different specialists for like 3 years trying to figure it out. And within a few weeks, no symptoms. She had so much more energy. She was gaining weight, which is what she wanted to do, gaining muscle, getting stronger. And she was like in the best energy of her entire adult life within just a few short weeks. So the reason I'm telling you this story is because I got to see a different perspective about the direct application of boundaries and people pleasing in a context applied to physical illness, right? Compared to, it's a little bit more obvious when, okay, you're maybe fighting with your partner and you aren't taking time for yourself, or someone's crossing your boundaries and you need to speak up with them. That's kind of a more obvious expression of needing to express boundaries. However, in this case, it wasn't so obvious. So what it made me do is deepen my listening, because this is also point 2, because deepening the listening is what's going to make you so good at being a coach, a space holder, a therapist. This is by far the most important thing that you can develop. Most people suck at listening. And so I didn't just assume what her issue was, because I literally didn't know. I didn't know what we were going to find when we went into the hypnotherapy session. But what I did find, because I had a beginner's mindset, allowed me to be curious and see how things were all connected. And what that has done for me is build this map of how things are connected in my mind. The way I perceive information, I understand what people are going through and how different behaviors are connected to different energies. And this might sound really vague, but you create this internal landscape, connecting these dots when you work with different people from different cultures with different issues. So even though most people will tell you, pick a niche, get really, really good at that niche, that is totally an option. And if you have that, that's great. But what I have found and what I suggest to my clients who are new coaches or new therapists is to work with different people. Learn different perspectives. It will keep you in your beginner's mindset, which is going to help you to learn faster, quicker, and a lot more. And for RTT therapists specifically, there's the alumni group on Facebook, and you can, set up trade sessions with other RTT therapists if you just want to get things moving and rolling, if you're really just at the beginning, just getting started. The second thing that I want to mention, I already brought up, I want to go deeper into it because it cannot be overstated enough, and that is deep listening. This is something that I have learned how to do outside of my RTT training with one of my mentors, who has taught me how to listen so deeply, not only to what's being said, but also to what's not being said. And it requires being able to sit through uncomfortable emotions and to challenge your clients in a loving way when they give you an answer to a question, and to know when that answer is the true reason or when you need to take them deeper. Because if you ask someone why they're doing something, they'll give you the first thing that comes to their mind, the thing that they've maybe thought about before, the thing that's readily available in their conscious mind. But when you really want to help somebody shift something that they've been struggling with for a long time, and you want to access the subconscious mind, a lot of times those things are hidden. Hence being in the subconscious mind, or why it's also called the shadow aspects, because you're not aware of them immediately on the surface. If you were, you probably wouldn't do those things. But by accessing that information and bringing it to light, that's what helps people transform. So you have to really know how to listen and what to listen for and how to do it. When you get really good at listening, your clients will get such amazing results. They will refer everyone and their dog to you. So most people are terrible at listening, and sometimes people get into coaching because they think, oh my gosh, I'm the person everybody comes to for advice. And that's wonderful, and so that might make you think you want to get into this field. However, good, powerful, and effective coaching is not giving advice. Sometimes people do need advice. I'm not saying advice is 100% always bad, but advice doesn't create transformation. So back to the listening, when you know how to listen and what to listen for, then you're able to ask questions that's going to help somebody else, your client, get the answers that they need to for themselves. And when they get the answer for themselves, it is far more effective than when you give them the answer. And so this requires you to be in like awkward silences and holding the space and going deeper and challenging them more and letting them even struggle a little bit sometimes until they finally get there. And this is called empowerment. And empowerment is what creates the permanent change. You might notice none of the tips that I've given you so far are about marketing. And that's because when you are really good at what you do, first of all, it makes you incredibly magnetic because you own what you're doing and your skill and your results, and people can feel that embodied alignment. And second of all, when you get really great results for your clients, they, like I said, will literally refer everyone to you. Before I carry on with the rest of my tips, let me know if you have any questions about RTT in the comments below. So the fourth tip that I have to help you to grow your hypnotherapy business, your life coaching business, whatever your online service-based business is to do the inner work yourself. This should go without saying, but literally, I think most people overlook this. They think, oh my gosh, I've gotten some transformation in my life, so I'm good. Now I don't need to keep doing it. But guess what? Having your own business is honestly a personal development journey. And doing the inner work is every time you want to grow, whether it's you want to deepen your skills, you want to get new clients, you want to grow your business, you want to develop in some kind of a new way, you want to challenge your own beliefs about money and about how hard and easy things are, you got to go inside to do that. The only way to get out of your comfort zone when you're doing something new, well, not the only way, but the easiest and the gentlest and the most loving way is to do the inner work first. You can like go jumping off a cliff and if you're afraid and just do it anyway, but it doesn't have to be that terrifying. You know, when you do the inner work, it's so much easier to do new things and to step into a new version of you because you first shift on the level of your identity, which makes it so much easier to get to a next level or a new experience in your life. Most coaches and hypnotherapists will all come across limiting beliefs that have to do with money blocks, lack of boundaries, people pleasing, overwhelm, procrastination, and impatience. And so I really recommend that you nip these things in the bud as soon as possible. It's just going to make things so much easier for you. And this is exactly what I do with my clients in my 4-month mentorship program. Number 5 is socialize. Just go out and live your life. 90% of the people who come to me who want help to grow their business, make more money, get more clients, they think they have to be behind their computer doing all of these marketing things and posting on social media all the time and making their website perfect. But honestly, over the last, since I've been really studying and tracking this with my clients and their results, over the last 2 to 3 years, what I found is that the more you're doing things you don't want to do, if you despise or you just really aren't into posting things on social media all the time, but you make yourself do it, it just shrinks your energy down. But if you like going out and socializing and sitting in a coffee shop and writing and just meeting people, your energy goes way up. Plus, when you meet people in person, that's how business used to be done all the time. You don't have to be behind a computer. So if you think there's this huge list of things that you should be doing for your business, guess what? That's a block and a limiting belief that will hold you back and slow you down. The best way to connect with new clients is to just go out and live your life. But if you're not out enjoying and living your life, there's probably something going on beneath the surface. So you might want to have a look at that too. Especially after the last couple of years of everyone being inside and thinking, now I have to bring my business online. I really recommend that you just do things differently and go and be in person and enjoy yourself and just meet people and go out and be a part of your community and see what kind of value you can offer or just how you can participate in things that you're interested in. And then when you meet people and you talk about things that you're passionate about, which will inevitably be your work, because if you're not passionate about it, I don't know why you're doing it. But the thing is anytime I have heard, anytime I ever talk to anybody about what I do, they are incredibly fascinated. They have so many questions. Trust me, when you just share from your heart, people are going to lean in and want to hear what you have to share. And you'll make genuine connections. And when it's appropriate, people are going to want to connect with you. They're going to think about you if they want help with something. Number 6, when you're talking about your work, frame it in a problem and solution type of language. The elevator pitch is so 2015. So if you don't have a niche, and you don't need to have one, I'll get to that in a minute, then what can be really helpful is to have a couple of ideas in your mind, in your back pocket, about problems that you can help people solve. Or better yet, get to know the person that you're talking to before you begin sharing about yourself. Maybe you'll learn about them that they have a child with anxiety, or they're on a weight loss journey, or they've just written a book. Then you could say something like, I help people lose weight by releasing emotions at the root cause. Or I help people with anxiety feel peaceful and confident so they can do well in school, or enjoy their relationships. Like whatever the application is directly in the conversation you're having, you can apply it to that person so that they can understand what you're able to help them with. Or you can say, I help people with an important message feel confident speaking on stage. So there's so many different things that you can do, so many applications. When you have a general skill of helping people clear their limiting beliefs, it sounds really awesome, but not a lot of people understand how it applies to them specifically. So you can literally just spend 2 minutes getting to know somebody, and most people will tell you what's going on in their life, and you can give them an example that would make sense to them. And this isn't about pretending to be an expert on public speaking. This is just explaining an example of the application of your skills. And that's the really cool thing about RTT as well, because you don't have to be an expert in a field. Like I was telling you before, like I didn't even know what Lyme's disease was before I helped that woman, and it made a massive impact in her life. And again, this is why listening is so important. All right, number 7, some of you are just gonna feel so relieved from this one. You do not need to have a niche. Permission granted. You don't need a niche. Niche only when you want to. Niche, niche, whatever you call it. You can do it when you want to, when it makes sense to, when it feels right to. This is so important. There are times when it's helpful to niche. If you want to scale a group program, for example, but you don't have to niche in order to create a multiple 6-figure business. I've done workshops on so many different topics, from sex and money and spirituality and getting clients and imposter syndrome. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you are confident in your skills and what you have to offer, which comes from experience and getting out of your own way. I've seen coaches and healers be absolutely paralyzed from growing their business because they couldn't choose a niche. Please don't let this stop you. It really does not matter. It's not a prerequisite. That being said, I do have a process that I take my clients through to help them get clarity on the issues in life that are deeply meaningful to them. Because when something is important to you or significant to you, then you'll have a lot more energy around it and be curious and interested in learning and studying it deeper. So if you're curious about that process, you can come to thelivingnarrative.com and book a call with me. Also, I have a workshop coming up to create a flow of consistent clients into your business. We will go step by step to work on the subconscious and the energetic shifts that you need in order to get out of your own way so that you can connect with your dream clients. You know, as a coach or a therapist, that this is absolutely the most important first step. Does marketing strategy matter? Yes, it's important to have something that you enjoy doing and have something that you like to be consistent at. But there's literally no point in figuring that out until you've got that inner energetic alignment first. Because you can have the perfect marketing funnel, and if you're all messed up on the inside, it doesn't matter. You're gonna completely self-sabotage it, or it's just not gonna work for you, or there's all the excuses that can come up, or the procrastination, or whatever can get in the way. So if you want to create a flow of consistent clients, come to my workshop, come to thelivingnarrative.com to join. You're going to learn how to fill your calendar with dream clients, people you love to work with, who are happy to pay your prices and get amazing results and refer everyone to you. So click the link in the description below to come and join the workshop. I'll see you there. Here's a few more videos you might be interested in checking out. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a video.